you were not chronically online in 2022 when Ned Fulmer was outed as a cheater, you might not understand why all of this was so dramatic. So I'm going to give you a very brief history of the Try Guys and of this cheating scandal and explain why people are so mad that he's back. In January of 2014, Keith Habersberger and Zach Kornfeld were part of a very early iteration of BuzzFeed Video. They say that at that time, they were maybe 2 of the 20 video producers working for the company. This is important because BuzzFeed was kind of at the forefront of the pivot to video movement. Around this time, a lot of media companies were producing less written content and more video content, and short form video was especially just starting to take off. And Keith and Zach have said that at that time, there was an expectation that they would create at least 2 videos per week. This was before BuzzFeed had entered their cast videos era, so they've said that you would just grab whoever had a free 20 minutes and get them to come make a video with you. They had also realized that women were more interested in sharing at least their videos than men were. And so they landed on this concept for a video. Guys try on women's underwear for the first time. They also talked Eugene Lee Yang and Ned Fulmer into making this video with them. Later, Ned would say that they were the only 4 males in the office that were willing to try on women's underwear and post it online. And so the very first version of the Try Guys was born. They became one of the first video casts at BuzzFeed, and I have very little doubt that their success is probably the reason we got a lot of other casted content from BuzzFeed after this. For example, Ladylike and also Paralike. And each of the guys kind of had a niche sort of category that they fit into. At one point when describing themselves, they said fun, gay, food, and love. Ned was known as the wife guy, with a lot of the focus on the content being how much he loves his wife. He was also the first of the Try Guys to be married, so he was the only one with a wife for a while. In April of 2018, their contracts with BuzzFeed are running out and they decide to start their own production company. And they take a major risk and they leave BuzzFeed, forming their own company, which is called Second Try LLC. They've even said that one of the harder issues with this pivot was they didn't really know how to run their own company, which also means they didn't really have real HR. As far as I know, Ned was kind of HR. And once again, here is your reminder that HR is not on your side as the employee, they're on the company's side to keep the company safe. Around the time they're leaving BuzzFeed, Ned's wife Ariel is pregnant with their first child. And 5 of the first 10 videos on the Try Guys new channel are about Ned's wife having a baby, or like tangentially related to it. Try Guys throw a baby shower, they deliver a baby, they diet like pregnant people, they try 14 hours of labor pain simulation, and of course they meet Ned's baby. He's the wife guy, he's the family guy, he's the only dad among the Try Guys. The Try Guys continue gaining popularity, they launch a podcast. This shirt is foreshadowing. In 2019, they announce and launch their book, The Hidden Power of Effing Up. They also go on a live tour called The Legends of the Internet. And throughout all of this, the partners of the Try Guys are becoming better and better known. They are sometimes referred to as the Try Wives, even though early on Maggie and Zach were not married. They are now, and they just had a kid. Congratulations to them. This is Keith's partner Becky, and also Eugene's partner Matt is on this show as well. And also Ned and Ariel had their own podcast called Baby Steps, where they would discuss various aspects of raising a child. You may have heard the rumors that Ned's new podcast, Rock Bottom, is actually just the Baby Steps podcast rebranded. And those rumors are 100% accurate. Here is the podcast. You can see that it has 1,700 reviews. The new ones are just like no, and the old ones are still all of the reviews for Baby Steps. Anyway, the company is growing and growing, and they have quite a few employees. They have editors, producers, PAs, and one of those employees is Alex. I believe she started as a producer and then later became talent as well. She was part of a Try Guys duo known as the Food Baby. This was made up of Alex and also YB, who also works for the Try Guys. I believe their content started because there were so many leftovers after Eat the Menu was recorded that they needed people to eat them, and so the Food Babies were born. At the end of 2020, Ariel has their second child, and in 2021, everything looks like it's coming up Try Guys. They partner with the Olympics for a video series, and they sign a deal with Food Network for a TV show based on Without a Recipe. And on August 31st, 2022, the Food Network series premieres. Looking back to fact check this, I'll be honest, I did not realize how tight this timeline was, because the very next day is when everything starts hitting the fan. This Reddit user posts a picture of herself with Ned Fulmer at a Harry Styles concert at Madison Square Garden. She says that she saw Ned and Alex, but she didn't see anybody else from the Try Guys. Alex seemed annoyed that I recognized and was talking to them. People pointed out that a producer for the Try Guys, Rachel, had also posted from this show. So this wasn't that damning yet. Then a user called Hamilton390 posts on Reddit. He said that multiple people have seen Ned Fulmer going around making out with multiple women in New York City. He said it's unfortunate for Ariel and for the team, but it is true. And the commenters on that post pushed back on him because he didn't provide any receipts or proof at all. Somebody left a comment saying, "Source, I made it up," and he DM'd that person. He said, "Are you one of the people saying that you want proof? And they were like, yes, please. And he sent these screenshots of texts that he got the day before. Because it turned out that Hamilton 390 is actually Alex's fiance. Not only was Ned a wife guy, but Alex also had a fiance. And somebody had DM'd him to be like, hey, I was just wondering if she's in New York City, because if so, there's something you should know, unfortunately. And then sends a video of Ned with Alex kissing on the club floor. They were apparently there doing it very publicly for a long time. I even remember thinking at the time, this is so public that it can't possibly be the first time that this has happened. These are people who have gotten very comfortable not being caught. That week on their podcast, unprompted, Zach is like, I'm having a rough week. And social media users quickly noticed that Ned is absent from all the new Try Guys material coming out. Multiple advertisements and videos were released that very clearly originally had Ned in them, but he had been retroactively removed from them. They had posted an Eat the Menu where Keith eats everything at this Vegas buffet. And traditionally, in most of these Eat the Menu videos, all of the Try Guys are also in the video. Like, Keith will be the main host, but each one of them would come in one at a time and do like a section of the video. And in recent videos, Alex had also been doing segments inside these Eat the Menu videos where she's on camera. Even though Alex and Ned both were not featured in that video, they were both in Las Vegas at the time of its filming. I just want to remind you that while all of this is happening, the Try Guys don't really have an HR team. Ned is kind of HR. It's not just, oh, our friend is cheating on his wife. It's, oh, our friend is cheating on his wife, who is also our coworker, with his subordinate, who is also our employee. If this had gone much differently, this could have completely blown up like 30 people's jobs. But even though they were not making any public statements yet, there was very clear signs that things were happening in the background. They announced the next month they would only be releasing one video a week. That was down from like 2 or 3 videos previously. People noticed a few Patreon posts had been delayed because of things moving around or like last minute edits. And then on the 27th of September, they announced that they are no longer going to be working with Ned Fulmer after an internal review. Ned also makes a statement. Family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship. Very interesting way to describe hooking up with your subordinate. Sorry for any pain that my actions may have caused to the guys and fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and children, and that's where I'm going to focus my attention. Ariel also posted on that same day, thanks to everyone who has reached out to me, it means a lot. Nothing is more important to me and Ned than our family, and we request right now that you respect our privacy for the sake of our kids. After this, Dumois posts a couple pictures of Ned with Alex, indicating that this had been going on longer than people really knew. And remember, their brand new show with the Food Network had just aired a few days before the Try Guys found out about all of this. They did not say it was directly related to this, but the Food Network did move the time slot that their TV show was at from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. Also, right around the time all of this was happening, Eugene apparently had been planning on leaving the Try Guys. I don't know if this was around the time he was cast in Nimona, but he had personal projects that he wanted to work on that he couldn't do while he was still full-time with the Try Guys. And his departure was ultimately extremely delayed by all of this drama, because they could not lose Ned and Eugene both at the same time. The Try Guys released this video called What Happened, where they detail these events. They talk about their disappointment, how hurt they were, how surprised they were, and only 5 days later, SNL parodied it. And this sketch got a little bit of backlash because they make it seem like the reason that the Try Guys were upset at all is because their friend cheated on his wife, and not because their friend almost blew up their careers. When in reality, if your friend risked your career, your company, your livelihood, and for what? To get laid? I would be mad too. Editing, but I had to add this. Apparently one of Ned's college friends is a writer at SNL, and so obviously there was speculation about if he was involved. Last thing I'll say about this is that I was originally hesitant to include Alex's name or image in this video at all, but it's so public and easy to find that I decided to just leave off her last name and also her fiance's name. I do not know any of these people or any of their true motivations for literally anything that they're doing. I don't know, and I will never know why Alex chose to engage in these behaviors with Ned. What I do know is that as her employer, he bears the majority of the responsibility for this entire situation. Any kind of personal responsibility on Alex is between all of them and their partners. In terms of the company stuff, this is Ned's fault. That's everything I know about this. Why is this video so long? I couldn't tell you. Love you guys, drink water, bye.